You're a therapist, you know some stuff about shoulders, but for some reason, you are just not getting the results that you're hoping for. Well, I'm going to clear up some things. I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm talking with my own therapist when we have this conundrum.
Let's be honest, you've had those patients, the one who's been through everything: carpal tunnel surgery that didn't help, epicondylitis that flares up no matter what you do, shoulder pain that won't behave, and thumb pain that keeps coming back. That's because the hand is where it hurts, but it's not where the problem starts. Huang created the Spine-Hand Connection to give you the system that you've been missing. Join us in Austin on September 12th and 13th, where she will be covering spine anatomy that drives upper extremity symptoms, evaluation and differential testing so you can prove what's actually going on, and treatments that address the root cause, not just the symptoms. You've seen the pattern for years, now get the framework to finally fix them. The link is in the description for full details.
My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. And let's dive into why isn't your patient better? You have the tools, you know what you're doing, you understand the mechanics. What's happening? What's going on? Let's dive into it. We had a patient and rotator cuff injury. She had a rotator cuff repair, and some days she does better and some days she doesn't do better. What's going on? And so we often think, oh, it is just us. But let's bucket. You know me, I like to chunk things out, right? You have to think about you, right? Because you, as a therapist, can look, am I doing everything correct? And you have to look at your patient's behavior. So especially when it comes to a shoulder injury, you have to think about the quality of their tendon. You want to think about the quality of their repair. If you have an opportunity to talk to a surgeon, you can ask them, what is the when you were in there, what did you think about the quality of their tendon, right? So age affects quality. What else affects quality? How chronic in nature it was, past medical history stuff, are they diabetic? Things like that affect the quality of the tendon. They can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. You have to manage your expectations, and then you have to manage their expectations, right? What's another thing about the patient? What is their activity level? What is their activity level? Not having any activity level is detrimental to improvement. If they're going home, they're not doing shit, then you can't get better. If they're going home and they're sitting on their ass, and they're just oh, woe is me, my life sucks, I also can't help them, right? So again, everything that we do, we just have to manage expectations. We have to manage our expectations, and we have to manage their expectations. And listen, at the end of the day, you have to have these conversations with people, right? You have to ask them and break down their activity. I was working with a guy, great guy. He actually came for his hands, crushed injury, blah, 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 but his shoulder was killing him. And I said, let's start working on your shoulder as well. Start working his shoulder. And he had a pretty large tear. So it was probably between 50 and 75%, right? So if you're over 50% tear, then you could do well with a rotator cuff repair. The thing is that he was 70 something. He didn't want surgery. And then he would say some days are better, some days are not. So I would do the therapy. We would see the results, okay? Pain down to 2, full active range of motion, all this stuff. And then from one day to the next, he would come in oh my God, my arm, I can't lift it, pain, 10 out of 10, right? You have those patients and they drive you crazy. And you're like, what do I do with these people? I know what I'm doing, right? And that's okay. It's okay. You do know what you're doing, but let's just analyze it step by step. Organize yourself so you can know, is it you? Because sometimes it is you as a therapist. Sometimes you're not doing enough as a therapist. You don't have enough tools. You forgot something. It's okay. We all do. We always forget sometimes, right? And so when you get organized like this, it just helps you to see, what is it that I'm missing, right? So he would go home after doing so well, and then he would bend over and he would pick up the leaves from the yard, and he would pick up his chicken eggs from the yard. And I was like, show me how you're bending over. He was not bending from his knees. He was bending from his back. And so, your lower back has something to do with your shoulders, right? If you don't know that, and check out the link. I'm doing a spine to upper extremity course, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's great for a therapist who's already working in hands, who you're already a certified hand therapist, you have experience, but there's some cases that are just like, why are they not better? And there is a spine connection. The lats connect to the back. And so he would do all this crazy stuff, and then it would hurt his shoulder, right? Anyway, you gotta look at that. You gotta ask these questions. They're extremely important. You have to know how to test for it. And then because you're able to test and differentiate, you can treat it better, right? So that's them. Let's talk about you, right? So there's only so many treatment modalities, right, that we can utilize and do. So I kind of chunk it out into, okay, so you're doing manual. You are doing exercises / activity, right? So I'm going to include exercises, activity, and stuff like that, including neuromuscular retraining. You know what I'm talking about. There's a spot right here, that just doesn't activate. Like you're doing all this stuff and you're like, why won't it activate? And you can't get scapular control. What else? There's manual, there's exercises, there's modalities. So there's a bunch of things you can do from a modality standpoint, using hot pack, cold pack, E-stem, kinesiotaping, instrument assisted. So instrument assisted falls under manual, right? It's just a tool that we can utilize to provide manual therapy. So I tend to put it under manual therapy. But when it comes to manual therapy, you have to ask yourself, are you stretching enough in the right direction? So some of your patients are not getting end range. They're not getting absolute end range. And so therefore they fall back. They start regressing a little bit, right? From a manual perspective, if there's a certain part of their capsule that is just not, doesn't have enough of that motion, then the muscle is not pulling to keep it. Like, so for example, in the shoulder, you tend to have more of an anterior sit and then not enough of a posterior glide, right? So if you don't have enough of a posterior glide or an anterior glide, you don't have enough external rotation, internal rotation. If you're missing end range, then they can fall out of where they need to sit from a humeral head to a glenoid fossa perspective. Right? So the capsule can get tight, but the muscles might not be strong enough to hold and pull it back where it needs to be. So are you getting someone to end range? Are you making the muscles that are short long? Or if it's too long, right? Are you now strengthening it so that it can activate the way it needs to, right? Are you prescribing the right exercises or activities? Now, sometimes we're just sitting here doing band exercises, but maybe you're not prescribing it correctly, meaning you're not teaching them to do it correctly. There's nuances to doing internal and external rotation. You might not be progressing them enough because you think, oh, it's too hard for them. They probably need that shit to be a little bit harder, right? How do you know? How do you know what you're doing is right or wrong? The way you see if you're doing it right or wrong is just by testing them out. So as you're doing exercises, it's a constant evaluation, right? I call it test, do, and retest. And so when you are doing an exercise and you do the exercise and they're like, oh my God, I can't lift up my arm. And you're like, it's just because you're weak and you need to do more. They might not be getting better because of that. If you do an exercise and it is the correct exercise and they're doing it correctly at the intensity in which they need to do it at, they should be getting better, right? So that's where you have to have some self-awareness and an ego that says, I'm okay being wrong, and say, okay, that exercise doesn't work. So sometimes if I'm doing external rotation with someone and they're doing it wrong and then they have more pain, then maybe doing internal rotation is better than external rotation. And then how do I know? It's because I test them. Like, how do you feel? Like, I find that one movement, like, that hurt. Okay, let's do, shoulder extension, external rotation. Oh, when I do it, like, it hurts so much. Maybe they're like that, right? Maybe they're not in the great, position. So you have to look at every little piece and say, okay, am I getting end range, right? Am I prescribing the correct exercise? Am I making sure that they're doing it correctly? Now, it's okay. Sometimes these patients are not doing it correctly. They should be doing it correctly with you. They might go home and do it incorrectly, and that's okay, because they have an opportunity to come back and you say, oh, let me see how you're doing it again. And they're like, right? So maybe you just need to go slower. Maybe you need to pull and go slower. So for me, if I have someone who's really, really stiff, then I want them to go end range, right? But if I have someone who has all the motion, but they don't have enough stability, then I might go heavier, but I might have them hold it and, go into eccentric slower, right? So this is all you and how you prescribe it so that you can see results. This is exactly what I go through with my therapist when we're talking about somebody who, we've gotten them better motion, we have less pain, but we just can't seem to get the final last 20% of it, right? They feel better, but then they don't, and they feel better, but then they can't keep it. You might not be progressing them correctly. And it takes a certain person to want to evaluate that, right? Instead of saying, I do everything right, say, what can I evaluate that I can change, right? So I love providing a certain amount of manual therapy that's going to get me some results while they're in the clinic with me. Then I'm going to make sure I pick the right exercises to do. In the order is also very important. I pick the right intensity, right? So you want to make sure it's hard enough, but not so hard. And you want to make sure they're executing on it correctly. And a modality that I like to send my patients home with a lot of times is I will kinesiotape somebody. Now, I don't kinesiotape everybody, and I don't like to put a gazillion pieces of tape on them, but I'll find maybe 1 or 2 pieces where if I just give them a little tug, a lot of times it's their infraspinatus, give them a little tug there. If done right, it's going to give them that cueing that they need, and then they're going to be able to do their exercises correctly, and it's going to feel nice. And because it feels nice and it has less pain, they're going to use their arms better. So it's just a way, if you feel like you are doing enough, you have certain tools in your toolbox, right? People love saying that, I have tools in my toolbox, I know what I'm doing, but you're not getting the results, then this can maybe help you to reframe it and, put it into perspective. What am I doing? What am I missing? There's a lot of exercises that you could be doing, but so important to find the right exercise for your patient so that you can help them get results. We work as hand therapists, as an occupational therapist, as a certified hand therapist. I work with people of all age ranges with hand and arm problems. I've got teenagers in my office who have hand and shoulder problems. I have adults, I have people in their 30s. I have a lot of people in their 40s and 50s, just because that's usually when we're willing to pay attention to shit. I have people in their 60s and 70s, right? I have them as non-surgical cases. I have them as surgical cases. And so as a hand therapist, we can have a variety of cases that come our way, shoulder problems that come our way, and we have an opportunity to help people believe that it's possible to get rid of pain, to be able to avoid injections and surgeries, to have the best possible recovery after surgery, knowing what to expect, how to progress, and ultimately, what are the end results that I can get. If I was suffering with a shoulder problem, this is how I would love an occupational therapist to help me. One day my ass is going to be old and I'm going to need an OT to come help me, right? Save this video. Make sure, am I doing it correctly? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I need to be pushed and make it stronger. I can't see myself. I might be a little twisted, right? So when people come to therapy, they're coming to therapy because there are things that they cannot see on their own, and you get an opportunity to help them. They cannot do certain things on their own, and you have an opportunity to help them. And you have an opportunity to ask really great questions so that you can find out, like, how can I really help you? Let me know if this has helped you to kind of just like organize your thoughts and how you can get better results for your patients. In the month of May, we're diving into shoulders inside the mentorship program. So if you are a new therapist, a therapist with experience, and you just want to improve your clinical skills, know that you're on the right track, know that you're doing the right things with your patients, wanting that, back and forth dialogue and have someone to discuss cases with so you can have someone help you think through yours, consider joining the mentorship program. The links are below, but if you like videos like this, like, subscribe, do all the things to let me know that you want more videos like this so I can make them. All right, until the next video, thanks.